Hello, people. So, from those who weren't watching my live stream, um, first I was talking about Lucas Ferreira, and I was talking about the left winger that I would get on the team. And I was talking about, of course, Oyarzabal, who is from Real Sociedad. Honestly, I think Oyarzabal, I think he would follow a path um, close to Bernardo Silva, honestly, because he's not that winger who's a fast guy. He's more of a more technical guy. His technique level is for me is amazing. His shot is incredible. His dribbling is pretty good. He has a long shot too. He's a very versatile player. He plays as a CM. He plays as a cam. He can play on the right wing. He can play on the left wing, and he can play as a striker too because his shot is just so good for a winger. And he's not that fast. He's not strong as most of the players from Spain who are more offensive players, most of them are not strong. They're not strong players. They have a very good um, level of technique. And honestly, I think most of them do. Players like Thiago, of course. Fabian is an exception. He's a really tall player. He is a really strong, but still level of technique that Fabian has is amazing for me. I would really, I would definitely take him to Arsenal if I could. And of course, Oyarzabal, Danny Olmo, a player that actually I see some news, and I see that Danny Olmo is actually linked to Arsenal, and I think he's a decent player. He plays for Dinamo Zagreb from Croatia, and I think that he's good, but I don't think he would be that player who would take us to another level. I honestly think a player like Oyarzabal would. Of course, I watch Everton Suarez is some Brazilian, but I don't think he would, of course, take us to the next level as well. I think that maybe Bergwijn would take us to the next level. Bergwijn from PSV, really strong player, really fast, but his level of technique is also good. But honestly, I don't think. Honestly, last season I really wanted to get Bergwijn. Actually, to be honest, but Bergwijn, he's not doing well this season. I have to be honest, he's not doing that good. But in the last 4 games, if I'm not mistaken, he got 5 assists. But I like a word called consistency, and I think that Bergwijn has played, I think, 14 or 15 games this season, and the first 9, for example, were not good. And he got 5 assists in the last 4 games, or 6 assists, a lot of assists he had on the last games. But honestly, I think that a player who has like more consistency is a player that we would take, honestly, because I think that I don't want to have like another another for example, Lucas Torreira, who played for 3 months and then disappeared for 11 months. This is my opinion on it. I know a lot of people have different opinions about Lucas Torreira. The Shield, bring back from Fortuna Dusseldorf. Yeah, and um, so yes, people, I would take. There is actually more wingers I would take. I would consider the right word. I wouldn't, of course, I wouldn't take all the wingers. I would consider all these wingers. There's more on my list, but right now I can only remember Bergwijn. Of course, Wilfred Zaha, Ryan Fraser, who's going to be if he doesn't sign a new contract with Bournemouth, he's going to be a free agent for Bournemouth next season. But there's talks that Bournemouth is going to give him 100K a season, but I don't think that's going to happen. 100K a week. I don't think that's going to happen anymore because Fraser is not playing. First of all, he's playing on the right now for Bournemouth, and of course, Eddie Howe told him to play a little bit on the right and change a little bit of his playing style, playing more like not crossing the ball too much. Because last season in the Premier League, I think Fraser was the second player with most crosses in the league. I think the only player who had more crosses than him, it was, I forgot who it was. I think it was a player from Chelsea, but I can't remember who it is right now. But but yeah, I think that Ryan Fraser would be an option. Not my first option though. I think that Wilfred Zaha would also be an option. Of course, we're always linked with Wilfred Zaha. Wilfred Zaha, who always gets penalties against us, who always plays really well against us. But I don't think he has that consistency, that keyword that we're looking for. I think he has a consistency when he plays against Arsenal. This is what I think. I think that every time he plays against Arsenal, he's man of the match. Pretty much every single game we play against him. At Selhurst Park, he played really well. At the Emirates, of course, the 3-2, he played really well. Always playing really well against us in the last game, of course. And he gets a lot of penalties. And honestly, when Crystal Palace gets a penalty, Milivojevic is never going to miss a penalty. I've never seen that guy missing a penalty. So honestly, Zaha is. I have to go. I really like your content, dude. Keep it going. Thank you so much, mate. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe, please. And thank you so much for watching this live stream, my first one. So thank you. As I was saying, honestly, I would consider all these players. Of course, we're also linked with Demiral from Juventus. I haven't seen a lot. I know him. He's a tall player from Turkey. But I don't think he would take us to the next level. I've seen some games from him, but I haven't seen enough like consistently, which is something that we need consistency. But I would take, for example, if I would sign a center back, I would look more at players I would look at players who would actually take us to the next level. Maybe of course, like a Koulibaly, like I think Upamecano is also a good player. I think he's maybe a little. I think he's a little bit overhyped. I think he might be a little bit overrated, but of course, I think he's a good player. I think he's a really good future ahead of him. Konate, who plays for Leipzig, is now injured, and most of the games Upamecano is playing with Orban, who is the captain of Leipzig. Last season, they had the best defensive record in the Bundesliga. Played really well last season. Leipzig has really interesting, but all these teams were sponsored by Red Bull. I don't know why, but they have really good young prospects. Salzburg, of course, with Haaland, a player that I would sign if we get rid of Aubameyang. Of course, Soboslai, a very good player. I think Soboslai is 18, and Soboslai, I've seen some games from him, and I think he's a really good player. For me, he's going to be, well, if he doesn't flop, I think he's going to be our cam for the future. He also plays as CM. He also plays as a left mid as well. That's where he plays most of the games for Salzburg, and I think that we should sign Soboslai. And Salzburg have, of course, other interesting players. They have, of course, Haaland, as I said. They have Hwang, who's that player who broke Virgil van Dijk when Salzburg played against Liverpool in that 3-3 game. Was it 3-3? Yeah, I think it was 3-3. And they have that Japanese guy. I forgot his name. I honestly forgot his name. But they have really interesting players. And, of course, Leipzig, as I was saying, the Red Bull teams. Leipzig have Orban, Konate. I think Konate is going to be world-class. I think Konate has a great future ahead of him. Him and Upamecano has also a great future. I think Konate is like a Upamecano, but like a taller version of Upamecano. But he's a really fast player too. They have Sarachi, who's the second right back of the team. They have Klosterman, who's the first right back of the team. I think he's better than Bellerin, in my opinion. I think he's better than Bellerin. I know CDM who played in the Bundesliga 3 for 1888 München. Romain Lacazette. I don't know about that one, mate. Henrique. The big black Natalino asks for. Yeah, the DM position is of course another position because Lucas Torreira, honestly, I think he's going to leave the club. As I said in the other live stream, my voice is already cracking up again. I'm sorry, guys. As I said in the other live stream, Lucas Torreira, I think his dream is to play for Boca Juniors and Napoli, a similar club to that. And honestly, I think we should go for Zakaria from Borussia Mönchengladbach. There's other players like other CDMs, and Didi would be my dream signing, but he's 23. I can't believe he's 23 when I look at him. But yeah, he's 23. But Zakaria, I think he's going to be a player. at least close to that level of Ndidi. If he doesn't start picking up injuries from nowhere, just like Gareth Bale when he was playing for Tottenham, and then he went to Madrid and he was getting injuries every week. Talking about Leipzig again, as we were talking, actually Leipzig they have a lot of really interesting fullbacks. Left back, um, Haustenberg, who's a really good player, but I think that we're good with Tierney. I think we should sell Kolasinac because I think we would sell him for like around 20 million. And for a player who's not good, in my opinion, who's not good enough for the team, I think that would be a decent amount of money. We should get maybe, I don't know, maybe a experienced left back for at least the bench because I think Tierney should be 100% my starter. And or a young player for the future. I know Tierney is for the future, yeah, but just a player where I don't know. I don't know what Arsenal is going to do. To be honest, I don't even think Arsenal is going to sell Kolasinac, but yeah, this is what I think. Or maybe another player can come from the academy and take his spot as a second left back, and the Kolasinac would just leave. Because honestly, my expectations for Kolasinac when he came here were high because he was one of the players of the season for Schalke when he was playing the Bundesliga. But I don't think he's doing well here. I don't think he has the I don't know. I think he doesn't have technique to play in the Premier League. He's a fast player. He's a strong guy. But honestly, I don't think I think for a left back, he is what's the right word to describe him? I think he's a dumb left back. He's a dumb like he goes close to the box and he doesn't I don't feel like he crosses the ball. He shoots the ball on the area and he hopes for Aubameyang or Lacazette or someone else to header it or score a goal, and he just prays for the striker to score the goal. That's what he does for me. And Tierney is actually the guy who crosses the ball right. Even Chambers does. He's not even a right back. He plays as a center back now as a CDM. And yeah, what was I talking about? Other players. Um, honestly, Leipzig also have Adams, but I think CDM Adams, but I think he's really young. Honestly, he's also not that tall. I don't think Adams would go to Arsenal, and I honestly wouldn't like him at Arsenal. I think he's 20, plays for the USA national team, but honestly, I don't think we should go for him. I think we should still go for Zachariah. There's other players, Sumare from, of course, Sumare from. I think Sumare plays for Lille. Also, a similar player to Zachariah, a tall player, but I think Zachariah is in a higher level. So I think Zachariah would be a better player, and other players as well. I think that if we sell Aubameyang, as I said, I would go for Haaland. I would pay I would pay the 70 mil for Haaland because I think Haaland is just going to be. I think he's not going to flop at all. I think he has all the everything that a striker needs. He's a really fast guy. He's a really strong guy. I cannot believe he's only 19 and the people that he bodies every time. He's so strong. He's so fast, and his finishing is just so great for a person who's so young. And honestly, if you tell me that if you just show me a picture of Holland, and if I didn't know his age, and if you told me he's 19, I would be like, no, you're kidding me. I would say this guy's like 26 because he looks so strong. Honestly, this is what imagine in the future what Holland is going to be. I think that Holland is he's going to be great. He's going to be a great player, a great player. There's some other players on my list. I don't have a list of players now, but I can make this live stream or a video, a normal video, which I usually make, to talk about the players that I actually want, like have in mind, having a list, because I have a list of players that I would like. So I think that would be better. There's some other players too, but I just can't remember of them because there's so many. But this is what I think, guys. Thank you. I think I'll end the live stream right here because of my voice. I really need to drink some water now. And thank you for watching. Thank you so much.